Why is Bitcoin price up today? This is an opinion piece clearly from Kyle White over at Cointelegraph. It says Bitcoin price hits a year-to-date high as investors' excitement over BlackRock and Fidelity investments applying for spot Bitcoin ETFs fuels dreams of a new bull market. Now, of course, if we are going off the traditional halving cycle for Bitcoin, we aren't expecting the bull run until after this halving, which happens in pretty much 2024. Let's go ahead and get that chart up real quick. Countdown. I believe, let's see where it's at today, at least according to NiceHash, we're looking at April of 2024. And of course, the peaks of the bull run happen about 6 months after that. I discussed this in more detail in my crypto mining e-course, which you can purchase over at sonofatech.com and help support me. It's only $19.99. Shameless self-promotion. So I just want to make it clear that right now, if you are expecting a bull run, it could happen, but it would be outside of the normal cycle for Bitcoin. But a normal cycle hasn't necessarily been established. We've also talked about other factors that are going to influence what is the macro cycle, or referred to as the macro cycle, when Bitcoin breaks out of the halving cycle. In this particular case, what we are looking for is the fees to start matching the block reward. A miner gets paid out in fees and, of course, in the block reward. The block reward is the Coinbase or new coins coming into the network, and the fees are basically payments that people who are transacting are paying on the network. Some things that have thrown off these calculations are ordinals, for example, which are driving the fees up on the Bitcoin network. As those fees get closer and closer to the actual block reward, I would presume we are getting closer and closer to breaking out of the traditional halving cycle that we've seen over the past 12 years and start to see more of a macro cycle and a steadying out of the Bitcoin price. However, we are far, far, far from essentially the top or the leveled out price of Bitcoin, at least as I would see it. Now, Bitcoin price is up today, reaching a 2023 high of $31,431. Actually, today, right now, as of recording, it's at $30,438. The fresh Bitcoin price year-to-date high comes amid recent growing institutional interest in Bitcoin from companies like BlackRock and Fidelity Investments, both of which filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF within the past 2 weeks. The institutional interest seems to have negated the negative news of the SEC cracking down on Binance and Coinbase, and bullish traders continue to overpower Bitcoin shorts. Now, throw on that tinfoil hat, and are these institutions working with the SEC to drive the price down to have a nice entry point? The other thing that we saw was that huge spike to 138,000 on Binance.us. So clearly US institutions were making these investments into Bitcoin, and it drove that price up because of low liquidity, which was pretty insane. Obviously, it came back down and settled back around the 30,000. But if you did have buy orders, at $100,000, for example, on Binance.us, well, congratulations. That's pretty amazing. Today's sponsor is BT Miners. BT Miners has been a longtime sponsor of the channel and a proven reliable source for ASIC miners. If you're looking to purchase ASIC hardware from Bitcoin to Dogecoin miners, they are available for purchase on bt-miners.com. BT Miners is a trusted source by both ASICminervalue.com and CryptoMiner.com. Follow the affiliate link in the description and tell them SOT sent you to support the channel. Now, let's get into more of this. Bitcoin price started to rally after BlackRock filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States on June 15th. While BlackRock is not the first to apply with the SEC for a Bitcoin ETF, they are the largest of all current applicants. To date, the SEC has refused to approve of spot Bitcoin ETF, despite numerous applicants including Cathie Wood's ARK and 21 Shares, which has filed for approval 3 times. Another company that was denied a Bitcoin ETF is Grayscale. After the rejection, the company took the SEC to the appeals court to argue for the soundness of Bitcoin futures. BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager with over $8.5 trillion in assets under management. The firm will also utilize Coinbase to custody the Bitcoin in the trust, according to the filing with the SEC. The application has also provided a boost to the Grayscale ETF, and the discount is approaching 2023 highs under 35%. Another financial services giant, the Deutsche Bank, applied for a digital asset custody license in Germany, in addition to Valkyrie applying for a Bitcoin spot ETF and a Bitcoin miner ETF. Liquidations could be sending Bitcoin prices higher as well. In early June of 2023, short sellers were liquidated at a lower range than longs. The BlackRock ETF filing announcement on June 15th has shifted fortunes away from short sellers, with over 220 million in shorts liquidated since that date. In the past 24 hours alone, over 31 million Bitcoin shorts have been liquidated. Despite the short seller losing streak, it seems that this investor group is doubling down. On June 23rd, 53% of options were skewed short, which could potentially create an opportunity for a short squeeze and a greater Bitcoin price upside. The cooling US dollar index could be good for Bitcoin price as well. Another positive sign for Bitcoin is the cooling US dollar index. Historically, when the DXY index retracts, sentiment for risk asset like Bitcoin increases. Since interest rates were paused by the Federal Reserve last week, some market participants think that the US economy may grow and that the dollar could continue to cool. If this happens, Bitcoin could continue to rally alongside equities markets. The better the macro climate, the better for Bitcoin price. Typically, there is a close correlation between Bitcoin and equity indices like the S&P 500. After interest rates increases were paused by the Federal Reserve on June 14th, equities saw a large bounce while Bitcoin price retracted. Now, it seems like the current Bitcoin rally is allowing the Bitcoin price to catch up. Some market participants think that the US economy may grow and that the dollar could continue to cool. If this happens, Bitcoin could continue to rally alongside equities markets. While Bitcoin price is showing some bullish momentum in the short term, after the BlackRock news and cooling dollar, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index has reached a 3-month high. And that is actually pretty incredible, because right now what we're seeing is a rally that is kind of out of the norm for a traditional halving cycle, I would say. But in addition to that, is also very promising coming right ahead of this halving that's going to be popping off in April. I mean, we are less than a year away from the next bull run cycle if this plays out like it has for the past 12 years. So, I mean, me personally, going to be getting into trying to stack those Bitcoin miners as quickly as possible, that sort of thing. Get ready, get in a good position to be able to mine. And with the electricity costs on the state side coming down even more as a miner, this is becoming extremely enticing. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com, where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.